Hello, welcome to episode 125 in the Datapack tutorial series, version 1.21. We're going to be making automatic sliding doors. Now, we did a command block only version of this in episode 435 in the command block series, with the commands are by Galsergi, so thank you very much for that. But that does also mean I'm not going to be the best at describing exactly how this works, but I've been playing with it, and I thought, well, I've taken time to play with it, so I'm going to show you what I've done. I've adapted it to a mod pack. Basically, we can pop down a command block, and we get some automatic sliding doors. Now, you might think, oh, I don't want that command block there. That's fine. Once you put the doors down, you don't actually need it. That command block is just for placing the doors. Okay. Now, I have added a lock function, but it's not fully implemented. So, for instance, we could tag any entity. Well, we could attempt to tag any entity whose type is not player. So that's just going to be the doors, which are block displays. Add locked, and you see now they don't open. But when I say it's not fully implemented, I mean as in you can just walk through the door anyway, because it doesn't put a barrier there or anything. So yeah, you can lock it, but it's not going to do anything. We can remove the lock, and then if we add it now, we lock them open. Okay, locked open makes sense. You can still go through. Right, okay, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be having a look at this. As I said, some of the commands are, I look at them and my brain starts to melt a little bit. But I thought you might be interested in seeing it anyway. So let's get on and build it now. Okay, here we are in VS Code. Let's have a look at the folders and files I've added. Inside my namespace function, I've added admin and door. And inside admin, I've added give function. And inside door, I've added process door, tick door admin, tick door, and we're going to use the load and the tick. Okay, let's start with the load. It's a nice easy one. I need two scores, one to store the state of the door and one to store its old state. So scoreboard, objectives, add, and let's call it slide door.state, dummy, and I'm going to copy that, copy, and I'm going to paste it in, and we'll have a slide door old state. There we go. Nice easy one. Okay. What should we do next? Let's do the give command. Give a command block. Give executor. And let's try and be good and use namespaces. Let's Minecraft command block. Where are you? There you are. Open and close square. We'll give it an item name. Minecraft item name equals apostrophes, speech marks. We'll just say place door. Okay. And we want some block entity data. Block entity data equals open and close. Right, we need an ID. We'll have to say you are actually a command block. Minecraft command block. Okay, and then we want auto true. That means as soon as I put it down, it's going to run. And I want a command in there as well. Command, and my command will go, oh, stop that, we'll go in there. So let's just do a simple say hi. Save. Let's go back, let's do a reload. Let's do function give, and let's put that down. Just says hi. There we go, instantly, and only one time because it is an impulse command block. Right, now if you are putting things in this command here, and if you're going to use a speech mark inside the command, you're going to have to escape the speech mark. Now, I don't have this key on my keyboard, Alt 92, there we go. So there's a backslash, I'm just going to copy it, well, I'm going to cut it rather, there we go. So what do I mean? So let's say a tell raw command, for instance. Tell raw at all players, and we'll say text hi, as it is. Completely valid command. But if I put that inside there, and I just realized now I'm going to paste over my character I just copied, I put that in there, you'll see, oh, it's not happy. Let me get myself another one of them. Now the reason is it's saying command, and it's opening speech marks, and it's going tell raw at open brackets, oh, close the command. And it's just, no, I don't like it. So we need to escape every single speech mark inside the command ones, and we'd simply do that just by putting a little backslash in front of them like that. Okay, so that's why you're going to see lots of backslashes in my commands. Let's give this a test. We do a reload. Now we'll have to give ourselves a new command block. And that just says hi. Okay, so you can see the old command block is doing say, because it's actually putting the name of the command block, which is just snail or @spiral. And the tellraw one is just saying hi. Cool. Now let's put in the complicated command. So let's remove the tellraw. And we've got command and 2 speech marks. Right, we're going to summon a block display. Summon. I might have to type it myself because it's in there. Okay, this is going well. Minecraft block display. We're going to summon it. Boink, boink, boink. We want minus 0.5, and this is relative to the command block. And we want to lift it up a bit, 0.5. Okay. So that's the start of it. We want to give it some information though. Okay, it's going to get long, so bear with me. Transformation. The transformation information, left, rotation. We will have as default 0F, 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 1F. Then we'll have right rotation, which we will also have as default 0F, 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 1F. It's annoying that you have to, even though you want them defaults, you still have to mention them all. We're going to need translation. We're going to need to be able to spell translation first. Translation. Okay, and we're going to translate it by 0.75 on the X. Did I put an F? I didn't. F. 0F on the Y. And minus 0.5 F on the Z. And we will need a scale. Scale. And the scale, well, I want it to be 1 on the F. I want it to be too high. So 2F on the Y. 1F. Okay, let's come out of scale and come out of translation. I want an interpolation duration. How long does it take to do its thing, to move? And I'm going to set it going to take 1 tick. 1 tick. Okay. Let's give it some tags. Actually, no, that's not 1 tick. That's 1 second. Sorry. 1 second. Sorry. Let's give it some tags. And here we're going to have our first problem because our tag needs speech marks. So let's just check I've saved one. I have saved one. Okay. Let's put our tag in there and we'll call it slide door, and we'll give it another tag as well. And this tag will say it's the left door. Right. Now let's escape those speech marks so this command will still work. There we go. Now we can come out of tags. Oh, and now we need a block state. Which block is it going to be showing? Block state. And we open and close. And for block state, we want a name. The name of the block. We will say it is a Minecraft grey stained glass. I think I use grey stained glass pane. Okay. We can see again. We have speech marks, so let's escape the speech marks. There we go. And now we're still inside block state there. And that's okay because we want to set some properties. Properties. And then for properties we open and close. We're going to say east is true. And west is true. We've got speech marks again. In fact, actually, look, when it autofilled, it put the little escapes in for me. That's rather nice, isn't it? Good old VS Code. Now let's come out of properties. So we come out of that one. And then we want to come out of the block state. Okay. But we're still in the... Oh, get off. We're still in the information for the block display. What else do we need? We need a passenger because we've got one door. We've got the left door, I believe. So let's have comma passengers. Let's open that. Let's have a list of passengers. We're going to have one passenger in there. And let's keep going. ID. It will be Minecraft block display. Let's escape those speech marks. That's his ID done. We will want an interpolation duration for it, which we'll set to 1 second, 20 ticks. We'll want some tags for it. We're going to have 2 lots of tags. We'll say it is a slide door. But this one is going to be the slide door. Right. And we have speech marks again. So let's escape them. Let's come out of tags. Okay. Now we want some transformation information. Transformation. Open and close curlies. Is it going to be the same? Let's copy the open and close curlies. Okay, let's copy everything inside those curly brackets there. So we've got left rotation, right rotation, translation, and scale. Let's copy all of that. Let's put it inside these ones. Do we want to change anything? So left rotation is going to be the same. Right rotation is going to be the same, so default. Translation, 0.75. That's all going to be the same. And scale is going to be the same. Okay. Let's come out of the translation information. There we go. And we'll need a block state. And the block state, actually, let's do block state equals open and close. It's going to be the same as the other one. So where have we got block state up here? There it is, block state. So let's block state, we want the name and the properties. Boink. Okay, there we go. So we've copied everything inside the block state. Let's copy that. Let's put it in there. Let's press S. And let's, fingers crossed, we haven't got one of those brackets wrong, because if we have, I might just have to record this again, because it'd be quite a long time, error checking that. Let's have a look. Reload. We'll have to give ourselves a new one. Let's just whack it down. Okay, now it looks like we've got 2. Now this is fine, because we're going to have a ticking command which is going to sort them out. But I would say there's 2 on top. If we just kill the nearest one, type, well, that's going to kill all. So let's just say nearest, type equals block display. So there's 1 gone. We can see through it a bit easier. And there's a give command, which I didn't mean to do. And there's the other one gone. So it is making 2. That's all right. Okay. Let's keep those ones. We know they work. Whew. Okay, so that's give command done. It looks a lot to take in until you break it down. So, I mean, a lot of this, all of this bit is the command. The command is just a summon command. And inside the summon command, we have the information for the thing we're summoning. And the thing we're summoning has transformation, it has interpolation, it has some tags, it has a block state. And it has a passenger, and the passenger is effectively identical. So it's sort of like a summon command, which is just spawning its own little passenger as well. So those are the 2 doors. One of the doors is riding the other door. So this is easier when you break it down. Right, let's move on to tick. I think tick will be a nice easy one. Okay, here I've got, you can see this, remove this when the map is finished. This is going to be the command that when we put the doors down, it's going to align them properly and make them look nice. And then obviously once you've stopped placing doors, you don't need to be running this anymore. Let's execute as S. As S, that's not going to work. As E. Whose type equals block display, whose tag equals slide door, run function tick door admin. Okay. And now this one is going to be very similar. Execute as any entity who is a block display whose tag equals slide door. So this time we're just going to tick door. So you might say, well, you're targeting the same thing here twice. So first of all, we're searching all entities for a block display with that tag. And then down here, we're searching all entities with a block display with that tag. So if both of these were going to continuously run, it'd be better just to select it once and do more stuff in the next function. But because later on we're going to say, right, I finished the map, I'm commenting that out. I don't need that anymore. That's why we're doing two separate ones. Let's save that. So I think the first thing to do would be the tick door admin. And this is where my brain starts to melt as I go through this command. So I'm trying to give good practice again. We've got a description of what the function done or does. We have little no need to run when the map is finished, and it's been called from tick. Let's set up the left door. Okay, we're going to execute positioned. No, we don't want to do that yet. Execute as S, whose tag equals right. Oh, okay, we'll set up the right door first. There we go. And left. Execute as any of the entities that's made it this far. So that's our block display, which is tagged with slide door. And it has the tag equals right. Unless its score slide door state equals its own score of slide door state. So if it does have a state, we're not going to do anything to it. That means it's already been processed. If it doesn't have a state, then we want to give it one. So we will store success at S, store success as a score at S, slide door state at S. We're going to align to the XYZ. So that's going to take the command to the bottom corner of the block. We're going to be positioned. Well, if we could spell positioned, we would be positioned. And then on here, we'll add 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. Let's have a little quick look at what that's doing. So if it is tagged with right and it doesn't have a score, which means its score is null, we're going to store a success onto it. So we're either going to store, because it's success, it'll be 0, it failed, or 1, it was successful. At S, align XYZ, positioned 0.5, 0.5. So let's say my command was running sort of in the middle up there in the block. What I'm doing, aligning it to XYZ, is going to snap it down to the bottom, snap it down on the X, snap it on the Y, and on the Z. So we're running in that corner right down there. Actually, to be honest, I think it's probably this corner. Let's have a look. F5 is not what I wanted. F3, that is positive Z, that is positive X. Okay, so we're align XYZ is running it down in that corner there. And then you can see we did positioned 0.5, 0.5. So we've gone 0.5 on the X. It's taken us to here. And then we've gone 0.5 on the Y, on the Z, which has taken us to here. So our command is now running in the exact center on the bottom of the block. So that's what we've done with that bit. Okay. And then what we're going to do there is summon an area effect cloud. So it's going to be right in the center of the block. And that is going to be facing an entity. The entity it's going to be facing is the nearest player. And it's going to be facing their eyes. And it's going to be rotated. Nothing on the yaw, which is the left and right looking. And we're going to force the pitch to 0, so it's straight ahead. And then we're going to do positioned. And we're going to do boink, boink, boink. So at the moment it's looking at the closest player, and now we're going to move it forward by 0.7071. So it's going to, the execution has moved toward the player a little bit. So we were in the center, we summoned an area effect cloud. The area effect cloud is now looking at my eyes. Well, it's facing me eyes, but remember we said it's pitched to 0, so it's facing straight forward. And now we've moved the command forward a little bit. So boink, the command is now running about here. Okay, let's keep going. And we're going to align that to the XYZ. So we're back into the corner of the new block. And we'll do positioned. 0.5. 0.5. So now we're in the center of the new block. And we're going to do facing entity at S. So now the area effect cloud, or now is facing itself. We've turned it around. At its eyes. Okay. And then we're going to do as the nearest type equals Minecraft block display. Tag equals slide door. Tag equals right. And then we'll do another positioned as S run TP. So as S is now the block display sliding door, the right hand panel. We're going to TP that to, well, TP that to where it is, but match the rotation and pitch of 0. Oh, my brain, so I go through that myself and my brain explodes. So I don't think my explanation is fantastic. I think it's a lot to take in, but I thought I wanted to share this one with you anyway, because I might be using something similar on my maps that I make. Right, that's the right door. Let's copy that. Copy, paste it in there, and let's do the left door. So I think really just going to change this tag here to left and this tag to left. But I do want to check. I think that's all we have to do. We'll do a check, and if it looks absolutely awful, we'll know we've done something wrong. Okay, let's go back. Let's do a reload. Now we shouldn't need a new block. Uh-oh. They're still stacked on top of each other. Okay, so let's get rid of those. Let's go back. Copy and pasting commands doesn't always work as you expect it to do, because sometimes you miss something out. What have we got wrong? Let's have a look. I am having a look, and my brain is melting. We've got the tags both done. Yeah. I think what we need to do is we need to change its rotation. This is the right door, rotated as it is. Let's flip the left door around by 180 degrees. Save that. Is this a good explanation of how I fixed it? Not really. Aha. Okay, so one door went off in one direction, and the other door went off in the other direction because we changed its rotation. So that looks all right. We got two doors there. In fact, let's put a door in there, and it's defaulted to open. Okay, happy with that. Let's go back. Now the commands should get a little bit easier now. Let's do tick door. Check for a nearby player. Okay. Execute as S. Well, let's just have a look. We're being called from tick. Okay. And this is running as the block display whose tag is slide door. Okay, so at S is a block display with slide door. And here I'm going to add the lock bit. As I said, as I demonstrated in the intro, the lock doesn't do anything. Tag. Well, you can lock it open, I suppose. That actually works at the moment. But locking it closed, you can still just walk through it. But tag equals not locked. At S. Store. Success. As a score. At S. slide door state. If entity, any player is within a distance of how far? Well, let's say 2 blocks. And let's limit that to 1. We only need to find 1 player. Okay. Let's process the door. Execute at S unless score at S slide door state equals at S slide door old state. So let's say the state was 0 and the door opens. The state is now 1. So those scores match. Well, we don't want to keep trying to open it. So that's fine. Okay. Run function. Tick door. No, process door. Update the slide door old state. Okay, so we'll just copy one to the other there. Execute as S. Well, that's just silly. There's no point doing execute as S because the command is already running as S. So we might as well just remove that. And we'll just do scoreboard players operation at S slide door old state equals at S slide door state. Save that. Okay. So the state's going to come round. Are the states different? Yes, they are. Let's open the door. Let's make the states the same. It comes back round through the loop. Are the states the same? Yes, it is. Let's not do anything. Okay. And this is all based on the state changing, depending if there is a player nearby. Okay. So the player's going to have to walk away and then come back. Let's process the door so it'll actually open. Update the transformation data. Execute. Store success as an entity at S. Start interpolation as an integer. Multiply it by 0. Store success on an entity at S. Transformation, and we're going to affect its translation X or 1, the first element in the translation, and that would be a float, and we'll multiply that by 0.75, and you remember that was the offset of our door. If score at S slide door state matches 1, and let's play a sound. Play sound. I want a breeze. That's it. For the breeze. The breeze sound. Is it the breeze? The breeze breathing. Breeze inhale. Let's play it on the block channel. For all players. At the coordinates. Let's make it much quieter because it's quite a loud sound. 0.2. Let's change the pitch a bit as well to slow it down. 0.7. Minimum volume. We'll set it to 0. Default. Save. Let's go back. Let's do a reload. Let's fingers crossed. Okay, that opened it, and now it's going to start closing. There we go. Let's try putting a new one down. Nice. Yeah, and as I said, okay, we don't need that command block. So let's say the map is now finished. My doors are all in place. People can play. I go back to the data pack. I go to the tick function, and I just stop. I just comment this out. There we go. We don't need this anymore. That was only to set up our doors. Let's save that. Let's go back. Let's do a reload. And now you can see the doors still work fine. But if I then go, I want to, what about this floating door? Hello. What if I want to add a new door? Well, it's going to sort of half work, but not properly, because we disabled this setup. Now let's see what happens if we enable the setup. Probably won't fix this door. Right, because the door's already got a state, because we walked near it and gave it a state. So that door's broken. Oh well. Well, we can get rid of that. Get rid of that one. And we can just put a new one down. There we go. Okay, now my explanation of how some of those commands are working, I don't think is really great. A little bit complicated, but I can quite happily just copy this and use it for my lift doors in my map or for science fiction doors in a spaceship, and I know it works, so I can use it, and I'm very slowly getting my head around exactly how it's working. It's all a learning process. Anyway, let's not waffle on too much. Let's go back through these doors just for fun. Why not? Let's not waffle too much, and I'll add a little bit of waffling at the end as I say goodbye. See you later. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.